Oh, hello, Scalador. Not seen you in a hot minute. Oh, another Scalador? Huh. I don't even know how I got two of you. I certainly don't need two. I wonder how much you go on the aftermarket. Snakes. Tons and tons of snakes. Slithering, scaly, scary snakes. That's what LEGO likes when it comes to the general villainy of their LEGO Ninjago brand, and that's never been more evident than in the vast plethora of Serpentine minifigures created over the years. And when I say over the years, I mean over the years. The first Serpentine minifigures were released in the winter 2012 Ninjago wave that was, at the time of writing this script, over a decade ago. Due to this, and the general trend of increase of prices once a LEGO set or product has been discontinued, a lot of minifigures are unobtainable on the modern official market. The Serpentine are very much no exception. In fact, right now, as of the 6th of January 2024, they are currently not at all available in any LEGO set. Yeah, so a question arises. If you're a new Ninjago fan looking to get some of the show's most iconic characters in plastic form, just how expensive would it be to purchase some of these older Serpentine? Well, let's find out as we count down the top 10 most expensive Serpentine minifigures as of January 2024.
Number 10.
Starting this list out with an unusual case, we have a bit of an odd figure right off the bat. This is General Pythor from the 2022 Crystalized wave, specifically from one set, and it's a rather off-putting figure to see this high up. For whatever reason, practically each and every Crystalized villain figure, sans the mechanic, poor mechanic, boasted a rather ridiculous price straight out the gate on the second-hand market. It got to a point that while this figure's set was still available, and on a big enough reduction, it was realistically far cheaper in terms of price per parts to purchase the full thing than it was to get the figures individually. As this set is now discontinued, things have only gotten worse. Hang on a second, what's this? The prices seem to have stabilized now. In fact, they seem to be lingering around the same general range, if not getting cheaper. Well, regardless of that, this one still more than earns, or I suppose loses, us a solid $21 or £17 new, and a barely reduced $19 or £15 used. Sheesh.
Number 9.
The 2012 Mesmo figure is a breath of fresh air when compared to our first entry, or as fresh as a list like this can be. It smells green, papery, and metallic. This one actually has a logical reason for its pricing, only ever appearing in a single set, and I use the term loosely, a small singular spinner add-on pack, released in the summer of 2012 for the, at the time, game. That being the classic spinny things you can play with your friends. Set 9555, aptly named Mesmo, was literally only available for 2 months and 30 days, and after this time was up, whoosh, that was it, gone forever. I actually ordered this one the day it released, and while that might not sound relevant now, in this age of social media and information sharing, the 2012 internet was a bit of a different place. YouTube was your best bet, and few channels kept up with Ninjago related information specifically. And so I did not have any particular awareness of the time-limited nature of this figure, much like Lazaru months later. This sells for $26 or £20 new, and $10 or £8 used.
Number 8.
Taking the number 8 spot on the list is the duplicitous and opportunistic Hypnobrai General, Scales. This sneaky snake of a Serpentine is one of Rise of the Snake's most important antagonists, and has since become the face of the Serpentine in any of their subsequent appearances. He came in 2 sets, unlike every other figure on this list. Included in both Cole's Tread Assault and the original Destiny's Bounty, he sells for a hefty $27 or £21 new, and $13 or £11 used, which, considering that you had at least 2 options to obtain him back in the day, is certainly quite the high spot on this list.
Number 7.
Scalador is our next place winner, rocking up at a respectable number 7 on our list. I mean, that's relative. If you want to buy these figures, prepare to bleed your savings dry and have to take out a mortgage on your house. He's the general of the Constricti tribe, and the original general with the least lines in the entire series. He came in only 1 set, the 2012 Epic Battle Dragon, which was the most expensive Ninjago set released that year. It is no surprise then that he would rank highly on this list, selling for $28 or £22 new, and over $18 or £14 used.
Number 6.
behind door number 6 reveals none other than the original Sneaky Snake Big Boss himself, Pythor P. Chumsworth. This time it's the original, purple scaled version from 2012. It only came in a single LEGO set releasing that year, of which being the Ultrasonic Raider. He has the same printing, just with different coloration as the 2015 one, and by now his head mold has been used multiple times by his other variants. But this one gets the credit for being the first to use it. He got a remake in the first Legacy wave, coming in a few sets, but that one is not nearly as expensive as this one. Pythor himself goes for around $31 or £25 new, and typically sells for roughly $17 or £14 used. This one's pretty expensive though, but not as expensive as our next few, so here's a participation trophy for your wallet from here on out, because we're entering the top 5.
Number 5.
Our very own number 5 sees us with the second Pythor on this list. Yeah, spoilers, there's at least one more from here on out. It's not much of a surprise when you think about it, but Pythor is a pretty sought after minifigure. 2015 was the first time we got his current appearance with the involuntarily bleached white scales coming off of his actions in the 2014 rebooted series. To say that this figure was highly anticipated would be underselling it by several orders of magnitude. He only came in a single set, the Ninja DBX, and it was in my honest opinion one of the biggest selling points of that set. This Pythor smacks us both and our money pouches in the face with a wince-worthy $39 or £30 new, and a slightly less nail-biting $18 and £14 used.
Number 4.
And surprising absolutely no one, we have yet another Pythor minifigure. This time for Day of the Departed's Samurai X Cave Chaos. This is the last Pythor on the list, but most certainly not the least, as it would seem that this one made the bold choice to actually get dressed after waking up that morning, with those long flowing robes. They're printed onto the very plastic of the torso and tail pieces. The sophisticated look in his eye and that menacing translucent green serpentine staff. Goodness, Pythor cleans up well. I can't say I disagree with people shelling out the money to buy this one, even though they typically go for around $40 or £31 new, and around $29 or £23 used.
Number 3
is a bit of a standout on this list, as the only female as well as the only Vermilion. I'm including her and therefore the Vermilion in the running for variety's sake, if nothing else, despite them not really being Serpentine. In terms of marketing and design, they might as well be. Makia is unique here in that while she only appeared in one set, she came included with a massive add-on build that replaced her legs, but doesn't appear in the show. But even ignoring that strange wheelchair, she's pretty pricey on her lonesome, coming in at $44 or £35 new and $17 or £13 used.
Number 2.
And now here we are in the endgame. The final 2 spots lay before us, and they are filled with characters you might be surprised by. Number 2 specifically rocks in General Acidicus, the Venomari leader and apparent elder storyteller of the combined tribes. He, alongside Scalador, were only available in the Epic Battle Dragon, and on the aftermarket typically goes for around $48 or £38 new, and $25 or £20 used. Pretty pricey.
Number 1.
And then finally we arrive at the number 1 spot, holding the most expensive LEGO Ninjago Serpentine minifigure as of January 2024, General Fangtop, the twin-headed vampire with a tail and a penchant to flail. His accented adversary was only ever in a single 2012 set, that being the on-brand Fangpire truck, and this is reflected in his price tag, typically going for a whopping $66 or £52 new, and $35 or £27 used, which is pretty crazy. I've seen this fluctuate a lot over time though, and at one point it was even listed at the utterly insane price of $111 US. Though there's not actually much else to say about this one. It's just General Fangtom, the character that hasn't appeared in the show, at least not had a speaking line, in 10 years. You know, one of those characters that may have appeared in the background. I don't quite remember any of his appearances after 2013, so it's a weird pick if we consider the initial set prices, but that doesn't seem to be super relevant now. This video was actually scripted initially back in April of 2023, and the stats were massively different. Acidicus and Fangtom dance around a bit, but it surprised me to see how others like Makia and Scalador moved about too. The Pythors were interesting, very much a popular character Pythor, and Mesmo Jr. got booted clean off the list. Look at him down there, past Char, Legacy Pythor, Asphera, Choprai, Kapowrai, and even Izorai. What a fool. Your Fork's exclusivity and technical canonicity have no power here, charlatan. LEGO is consistently expensive, but their value seems to ebb and flow like waves down at your local beach. It's interesting to think about, if nothing else, as I imagine most people watching this video aren't likely to ever put this information to any monetary use. I mean, spending 50 quid on a single LEGO minifigure? Couldn't be me.